Hey guys, my name is Lily and today I want to make a video about a very important topic, money. Okay, so today I want to answer 4 questions. The first one is, how much did this urban garden cost me? The second one is, how much value of vegetables and fruits do I have in my garden? And the third question is, when will the harvest pay off the cost of this garden? And the fourth question is, how much will this garden make me in about 10 years? Will it make an income or will it generate a loss? So pretty important questions. And for this I have made a very detailed cost calculation. So first I want to start with the easy part, which is the cost calculation of this urban garden. How much did this cost to make? Okay, this is my urban garden, and when I came to this house it was actually just gravel, and the stones at the sides were already there, this aisle as well. But then, I wanted to have raised beds and some aisles with stones, so I bought these stones in between the raised beds, and they cost me about 150 euros. Okay. And then the next thing that I bought was I was buying some wood for the raised beds. And as you can see, I have 4 big raised beds. And this cost me 120 euros for each, which makes 480 euros. And inside of the greenhouse, I have like 7 more of the raised beds. And that's 210 euros. And this one I just made with scratch wood that I had left over. Okay, so that's that. Then I've used a plastic liner, which cost me about 50 euros for all of my raised beds. You can see it here. Here you can see it better. So here you can see the plastic liner. And actually this plastic is quite expensive. But it's really important because otherwise, if you don't use that, the wood will rot away. Okay, so then I've used some butane gas and I've used a blowtorch, and I have burnt off the raised beds, which makes them look very nice, but also it holds back the decomposition. So yeah, instead of paint I was using the fire. Next on the list we have soil, which was really expensive. It cost me 640 euros to fill all of these raised beds and also inside of the greenhouse. So that was really expensive but necessary. Then I bought a greenhouse, which is this one. It cost me 350. I built this bee hotel, which cost me 35. Then I have this compost frame at the back side. This one here costs 40 euros. Then inside of the gardening shed, which was already there, I have my tools. So yeah, these are all the tools that I'm using, and they cost about 250 euros. Oh yeah, then I have installed a water valve, which is this here. And together with the hose, this cost me 300. And then I have bought some plants. They cost me about 300 euros. And these plants are the fruit plants here. So I've bought some blueberry and gooseberry. I have bought some small trees. This is a plum tree. This is a currant. This is a cherry tree, goji berry. And I have bought a couple of strawberries. So altogether, this cost me 300 euros. And at the back side here you can see some raspberries as well. And the last thing on my list is accessories. For example, pots, gloves, sticks, everything that you need for gardening. Here you can see the pots, some plastic foil, and whatever, cordage, stuff like that. This is what you need for gardening. And then this is the total. So my garden cost me 3,085 euros, and in US dollars it's about 3,500. So this is really expensive. But I got to say one thing. This is all luxury, okay? So you don't need raised beds, you don't need fancy stones, and you can make a much cheaper greenhouse with plastic sheeting. So this is all really luxury, and you can get by with much less. Okay, so if you want to start a garden, you don't have to spend $3,500. I think you can go with $500. But I decided that I want to have a really nice garden. I wanted to have my raised beds because it's really good for the back, and also I wanted to have these stones, and the stones are great because then I don't get dirty and I can run around with my house shoes. So these are the reasons why I have made this garden so expensive. And by the way, I have made all of this myself. So I've laid the stones myself, and I have built the raised beds myself. Okay, so now we calculated the cost of my garden, and the next thing is, oh yeah, there's another cost, the variable cost per year. So this year, the 3,085 euros were only a one-time payment, okay? So you don't have to pay this every year, it's just one time, because the stones, you know, they will hold forever, and the raised beds will hold at least for 12, maybe 15 years. So this was a one-time payment. But still, every year I have some costs. Like for example, every year I have to buy seeds for 20 euros, and the water will cost me about 30 euros. And every year I need a new compost, which I have to buy, and accessories, and maybe some plants. So altogether, my variable costs per year are about 135 euros or $150. So this will add up every year. But the huge cost, the 3,085, was only for the first year. And now it's getting interesting. So now I have to calculate the value of all my crops here, okay? Now the question is, which price do I take for the calculation? I decided to take the prices of the supermarket, right? Because if I don't have this garden, I would have to go to the supermarket and buy these vegetables for the price of the vegetables in the supermarket. So these are actually the opportunity costs. Okay, so I think we can agree that we take the price of the supermarket. But now it's the question, which price do you take? Do you take the normal price of normal vegetables, or do you take the organic price? Well, in my garden I only grow organic food, so for me it's somehow clear that I take the price of organic vegetables and fruits. And the second reason is I only buy organic, so even if I don't have this garden here, I would buy organic vegetables and fruits. These are my opportunity costs. And that's why I have calculated everything with the cost of organic vegetables and fruits. Now the problem is, the price is like 100% higher than from normal vegetables. And if you make a calculation like this, but if you don't care about organic food, and if you buy just normal, normal pesticide food, normal, then you have to make the calculation with the cheaper price, okay? So if you want to do something like this, then you have to bear this in mind. Okay, so I went to the store and I found out the price of all of the veggies and fruits. I also looked at the package size. So for example, cucumbers you can get in a 400 grams tray, and it costs $2.49, and that equals $6.23 for 1 kilogram. Okay, so now let's compare the kilogram prices. Tomatoes cost €4.98, zucchini $2.49, lettuce $7.14. That's really high. And parsnip is also very expensive. Caraway, 1 kilogram costs 59.8 euros. That's really high. So I was shocked when I was seeing this. Coriander seeds, 66 euros. Chive, they sell it in a small bundle with 20 grams. It costs almost €1. 1 kilogram, 49.50. It's insane. Okay. Here are some fruits. fruits are very expensive, especially blueberries and raspberries. Okay, these were the prices of all of the vegetables that I have in my garden. Okay, now the next calculation is how much are my veggies and fruits worth. This year I'm growing beans and I estimate a harvest of 1 kilogram, which gives me beans worth of 2.98. Right now I'm growing caraway seeds and they will have a worth of almost 18 euros and so on and so forth. So with this calculation you can see what vegetable gives me most of the money. And yeah, if I was in for the money, I actually would only produce lettuce because yeah, the price is so high and I produce about 100 plants of 200 gram lettuce average, which will give me a yield of 20 kilograms and that's worth 142 euros. Eggplants. This year I have 2 plants and both of them will give me about 25 pieces of eggplant and that's worth 34.88 euros. So this is my calculation that I did. Okay, that's just for the veggies. Spinach, 1 kilogram. And yeah, tomatoes. I have 12 pieces of tomatoes. And for each one, I estimate a harvest of 10 kilograms, which is 120 in total. And that's worth 49.80. Okay. So at the end of the day, the veggies will give me 751.09 income. Now I have made the same calculation for my fruits. And the fruits, I have to say, it's a little bit unfair because right now they are really young and they will produce more when they are older. So I have made 2 calculations. Fruits, young. This year I will have 500 grams goji berry, value 8.75. And yeah, what's also interesting is blueberries. They will give me 1.5 kilograms worth 29.88 euros. Strawberries, I will get 49 euros and so on and so forth. So this year I will get 152 euros from my fruits. And if I add that up, this year my garden will give me 903.15 euros. But in 5 years or so, when my fruits are old, they will give me more harvest and then they will give me 562.51 every year. Okay, so now that we have calculated the value of all of the crops, comes the most important calculation. Okay, here at the sides you can see the years, 1 to 15. Here you can see the expenses. So in the first year I spent a lot of money, over 3,000 euros. But then in the next years, in the following years, I will only need a little amount of money to keep the garden going. And here is the harvest, the value of my crops. In the first year I only made 800. This year 903. And because of the fruits which are growing, I'm going to make more harvest in 5 years. And then it's going to be the same. So at high yield times I will make 1,300 together with vegetables and fruits. Okay? And then you can see the profit. So in the first year I didn't make any profit. In fact, I made a loss with 2,285 euros. In the second year, okay, I had a little bit of expenses, but I had a good harvest. But still, my loss is here. We have still 1,500 loss. In the third year, I only have 650 loss anymore. And then in the fourth year, that's the first year that I'm going to make a profit with my garden. So in the fourth year, I'm going to make 400. And this is going on and on. And in 10 years of time, the accumulated value of the income of my crops is going to be 6,306 euros. And in 15 years, the garden will give me an income. It's not really an income because you're not getting money, but you're getting crops of the same value. So the garden is giving me 12,200 euros in 15 years profit. Okay, and that's about 13,700 US dollars. Okay, so now that I'm at the end of the video, someone is mowing the lawn. Okay, this is suburbia. It's normal that there's noise around, okay? Anyway, yeah. So my gardening is making me 7,000 US dollars in the next 10 years. And I think that's really cool. So this money I would otherwise spend in the supermarket if I didn't have this vegetables garden. And now I'm really glad that I have a vegetables garden, and I'm so happy about it because I lived 10 years in the city and I didn't have any opportunity of making something like this. And now that I have my own house and my own garden, I was finally able to have and maintain my own vegetables garden. And this makes me really happy. So I'm so happy, you cannot even imagine. And before I end the video, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Also leave me a like and a comment, and stay tuned till next time.